the guy, he knows everything. Yeah. He knows everything. I'm gonna tell you. People might think he's loony, but he's pushing out facts. And if I were you guys and ladies, you better start preparing. You better start buying guns. You get a lot of ammo, water, supplies, everything, boots. We might go to civil war. We might go to war. Like all this stuff that you see that he's talking about, he's been talking about it since like for years. And it's like, what? The Bohemian Grove, 9/11, the depopulation. I mean, there's times where I can't even sleep at night. What's going on? And they predicted this has been going on since the 50s. All this woke stuff and everything, it's all from the Democrats. You know who founded the KKK? The Democrats. Divide our country, kill the nuclear family, have everyone divided. This goes all the way back to the Tower of Babels. We're going to be more advanced, but they want to keep us divided, divisions, separate, because if we're united as one, we can take over this planet from the 100 families. But with all this drama, that's why they're keeping tabs on certain people. Alex Jones, Billy Carson. You guys got to put that in your that name vocabulary. Billy Carson's been speaking a lot of facts. He just broke the whole situation with the Rothschilds and everything. It goes all the way back to the Babylonian, to the Atlantean days. The Rothschilds are like, they're worth close to $300 or $600 trillion. And all this stuff was going on. We heard stories from Alex Jones talking about it. And now Billy Carson, and now this podcast and this. I'm telling you, man, you better start waking up, because we don't have that much time.
All right, dog. So Mega Man, Long Beach Social Experiment podcast. You're also known for lots of information when it comes to conspiracies. Yes. First of all, I guess conspiracies aren't conspiracies until they're proven right or wrong, right?
Correct.
So there's some that I definitely want to pick your brain about. The first one I got to know about is Antarctica. What do you know about Antarctica?
Antarctica is a very, very special place, and a lot of people don't know. When the Pangea gland, which means when all the continents were together, Antarctica was connected to Africa, India, and all. And the Mecca of the birthplace is, a lot of people talk about Garden of Eden, but with the Anunnakis, it was South Africa. Once something happened where the climate changed and Antarctica broke off, and they went further, and that's where it used to be all tropical, and it was turned into snow. It was all ice age and all. The thing is that Antarctica, the pyramids, they make the Giza pyramids look like a little micro machine. The pyramids are thousands of feet. There's been a lot of UFO sightings. You even have underground bases. The Nephilim giants are still here. The Anunnakis. People think like Anunnakis came from heaven to earth, space to earth. Anunnakis are aliens, not just one species. There could be 50,000 different types of species or fallen angels and all, but Antarctica they just found the nugget, the gold, the biggest diamond in the world. All the advanced technologies, everything. Lithium, they found coal. They found a civilization under Antarctica. What do you think in a way Germany was dug in? And I don't know if you heard the situation, what happened with Operation High Jump. Well, when Germany fell, a lot of the German, they heard stories about advanced civilizations to make a spacecraft and everything. And this was back in the 40s. They already knew how to make nuclear warheads. They met the so-called master, which told them this is how you would invent a spacecraft to break to the firmament, which the spaceship that they made was called the Hannibal. They made the Hannibal 1, 2, 3, and 4. And a lot of people don't know this. People think like Hitler died in World War II. No, he escaped on Hannibal 4 from Germany, flying all the way into Antarctica. Had his base there, had his civilization there. You can look this up. It's called New Swabia. It's under Antarctica. There was a Google map security that was taken off, and there's people every day. They're looking at Google Maps, and they're looking and looking. There's a civilization under Antarctica, New Swabia, that has close to 12 million people, and those were all Germans from back in World War II that they worked, for technologies and stuff. Some say the South, Pole and everything. But these are the people who have coins. They have coins, and it shows the UFO Hanabu and all this crap. And also, some of them they made direct energy light beams. There's portals. There's even, you heard stories about the ice wall. Germany goes back and forth in the ice wall. And a lot of people thinking like Germany is they're everywhere, because the Anunnakis, the aliens, were so fascinated with Germans because they were so gifted in technologies that they made a spaceship and they broke through the firmament to the moon. So Germany was the first country to land on the moon, and they went to Mars. So there's a lot of people in here on Earth that are trying to break off from Earth and go live in Mars, because Mars now, since Germany was the first country to discover Mars, you're finding civilization where the dirt from Mars can grow crops way better than Earth. There's water. There's advanced civilizations out there. Like, it's almost like that movie Total Recall. Like, they're gonna break off like that. But there's just so much about Antarctica like we don't know about, and that's where you talk about the Fourth Reich. The Fourth Reich, all the Germans. You talk about Operation Paperclip. Some of them work for Antarctica. Some of them work for the deep state. Some of them work for CIA and all that stuff. But all that stuff, what's going on in Antarctica, boy, you're just finding UFO ships. You're finding pyramids that has all this advanced technologies. There's even stories of they're finding animals they're digging them up. And the thing is, like, something happened with Antarctica that with the animals, what they were eating, it wasn't digested in their stomach. So it's almost like when the continent like moved, everyone just froze up quick like that. But now that you're seeing, because of the climate change and everything now, Antarctica is defrosting, and now you're seeing a whole bunch of lithium. You're seeing a whole bunch of coals and everything, like, oh my gosh. And even with Operation High Jump, they went to go invade Antarctica, not knowing Germany was dug in, and they had their spaceships, Hannibals, and they took down a couple of ships and killed a lot of people. And they sent Admiral Byrd packing with his tail down, like, fuck this, we're out of here. And they had to abide by the Germans who were there, the Fourth Reich. Because the thing is, what do you think in the way you see John Kerry, Obama, all these elites? The master lives in Antarctica. There's a map that has a hole. It's like, man, that's kind of weird. It's a hole. That's where they come and go. There's an episode you should hear. Billy Carson, he was a guest on the Sean Ryan shows, that there's beings that they can come in and out in portals. And with this whole ice wall, people are telling me, is the Earth flat? It is. The reason why, when you look at the flat Earth maps, we're in the middle, and you see all the continents. I don't consider this as Earth. I consider where we're at as the known lands, but a lot of people think we're in the continent of Atlantis, because there's a lot of continents all around Earth, but we're in the middle. But when you have the ice wall, when you go past the ice wall, which you have the Summer of Gates, Leviathan Gate, Tiger Gate, Centennial Gate, and I think the Tiger Gate, or no, there's one gate I forgot, but you can go past the ice wall, which is somewhere in the summertime when the ice walls are melting, they form gaps and people come in and out, and you go to another advanced civilization. That's what happened with the Incas, the Aztecs, and the Mayans. They worship the sun. the sun was going to lead them out. That was their navigation. A lot of people don't know this, that we have 6 suns and 8 moons. We don't know how big Earth is because there were some Ivy League schools. These kids had cameras and they're going all the way up. And something happened with the camera. It broke and they hit something like a firmament and it went down. But they screenshot it and everything looks flat. So we don't know how big the Earth is, but when you have the ice wall map, it shows you all the continents, ice wall continent, ice wall continent. We don't know how big is Earth, So we're only seeing it, and plus the Earth, it's CGI. It's CGI. So, and it even talks about in the Bible, of the firmament. I mean, one of the German who started NASA is to deceive. He talks about it. Yeah, we live in the firmament. It's on his grave. He talks to Scripture. Yes, this Earth is a firmament. But the only thing is, you have people coming in and out of our firmament with their shuttles going to Earth, going to the Mars. There's a lot of histories that people don't know about the God of Wars. If you look up the Bible, Deuteronomy, it tells you the whole story, what happened to the city of Atlantis. Does anyone read the Bible? Billy Carson told me about it. The reason why the God of Wars, they're going to wars in the moon, Mars, and of Earth. Our planet, which is Earth, out of the whole universe, we have the most resources that you see in all these different types of aliens, all these different types of Anunnakis coming over here because we have what they want is gold. Gold saved the planet with the Anunnakis called Nibiru. Their ozone layer was deteriorating, so they had gold. Gold saved their planet from like blowing up. And because of that, now you've seen gold as like the most valuable thing, not knowing that gold and silver can heal a lot of things. You smoke marijuana, I smoke marijuana. That's that's from gold and silver. And that's not from here on Earth. That's from the Anunnakis that came. And all that stuff came from like their civilization of Nibiru. So all this stuff is going on. It all evolves around.
What do you mean weed? First of all, to be clear, I don't smoke weed, but anymore. What do you mean weed came from marijuana?
No.
Marijuana came from gold. What do you mean?
The Anunnakis, they had what they came from. They had their own remedies and stuff to heal. And if you were an Anunnaki and you wanted to heal yourself, they would bring their plants and everything, like how to make marijuana, from gold and silver, from elixirs. Isn't that kind of weird? Like, they even talks about it. Like, what? No way. Like, yeah, the marijuana came from their planet.
Oh, okay. I thought you said it was made from gold. I'm like, how is it gold?
Well, yeah, it's kind of, it's from elixirs from gold and silver elixirs and stuff, and they made how it is. And now, because it's very confusing, because I think to myself, gold and silver? I said, yeah, but they brought it here on Earth and they planted it. That's why a lot of the marijuana plants, no one talks about it, it's from Antarctica.
Is that the original source? Have you ever been to Antarctica?
I would want to. I would go there so bad.
You'd be down?
I'd be down.
But like, let's say, like, you know how they sometimes schools were like, oh, we're gonna go storm Area 51. Like, you get there, like, what are you gonna do? Do you have the resources to dig or to like fly a fucking UFO? Like, if you get there, what are you gonna do?
I mean, we don't know, because Antarctica thinks like it could be a whole ice wall. I mean, it's big, it's covered. You could be at the South Pole, you could be at the North Pole. But if I was to go, they're going to send you to like the tourist attractions, but they're not going to take you to some of the top secrets, because a lot of those places are owned by the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and the Fourth Reich and the elite government. I don't know if you heard the story, what happened with Iran. They wanted to invade Antarctica and get out of the Arctic Treaty, and take control. It's like, hey, you guys have some stuff. That means that one of those countries breaks off, then World War III is going to happen. A lot of people don't know that. Like, there's a lot of resources that a lot of countries need, and it's all in Antarctica.
If you've never been there, how do you know all this stuff?
Research, baby. Research. You know, people think about like books. Rumbled. I mean, you can't. And also, there's this person, Night God 333. He's on YouTube. Billy Carson. And a lot of these stories, like, there's some classified evidence, like, oh my God, like there's a lot of things that we don't know about, but there's more advanced civilizations. When we're done with this show, I'll show you the picture of an ice wall, and there's other advanced civilization. This picture is one of the reasons why they banned me. I had 46 pictures, 55 of them out of the 46 pictures, and I had a total altogether 55, and I had some of the videos, some of the pictures. Everything was going to Centennial Gate, Leviathan Gate of more advanced civilizations. And when I was talking about it, no lie, she witnessed it. They went through my son's phone, my iPad, my iPhone, and deleted everything. And I only have one picture, and I'll show it to you after. But it's advanced civilization, and the continent, the civilization of that city is called Shiki Lands, and that's in the Leviathan Gate. The Ancestral Republic and the Iron Republic, that's where a lot of our people are from. The Mayans, the Incas, the Aztecs and all, they went out there. They crossed that. The only thing I get kind of curious about, if a lot of our people went and knowing the terrains of how to get to Antarctica past the ice wall, what kind of boats were they using? What kind of clothing were they using? And how did you know which gate to go? Because a lot of them, they had old maps. And one of the old maps of Antarctica, it shows dragons, dinosaurs, giants, aliens, UFOs, pyramids. And you have to get across from it. And they took a journey. One of the ice walls that was open, and they went past that one. But the only thing is, now when you pass that ice wall, you're going to murky waters, because all the water is not blue, it's black. And there's sea creatures and all, so you got to be careful. And also, a lot of the people they talked about, you got to look up this name, William Morris. William Morris used to go back and forth. And this is back in before the 1700s, after the British and the war was done. He had family. He came from Ancestral Republic. He sailed to our known lands, to England, California, New York. But a lot of the people over there, they said, we came from the Great Reset, which is here. Something happened over here, and they went to go settle over there. Because if you really think about it, where we live at, a lot of people, the advanced civilizations, the Great Reset survivors, they know that something happened over here, which we're doing this podcast now, or a great event's going to happen, that the elites, they see us as white mice. We are slaves to the 100 families. So a lot of the people here from the known lands left here to go settle over there, but you can't do that no more. Do we have a boat? Do we have a navigation system to, hey, I don't like it here on Earth, I'm going to go settle somewhere else? No, the elites want you to stay here. The government wants you to stay here. And if you try to leave, they would fucking kill you. There is a ship going past the ice wall, and the government saw what they were doing and blew up that fucking ship, and no one talks about that. One of the ice walls broken, and the elites are always there to stop anyone from leaving. It's fucking deep. But I would leave here in a minute.
Another thing that you're pretty well read on is Dr. Sebi, right?
Love that guy.
Before I ask the Dr. Sebi questions, is knowing all this stuff, or I guess talking about it, do you think that's the main reason why you're banned or you get demonetized?
Correct.
Yeah, why do you think that is?
He speaks the truth. If you don't know, I mean, whatever, there's 3 people that you will be blackballed if you post them up on Instagram, is Alex Jones, Dr. Sebi, and Tulsi Gabbard. Because Tulsi Gabbard wants to monopolize all this social media like Facebook, Google, and all that. But when it comes to Dr. Sebi, he was telling you, this is what you do if you have this. Curing AIDS, cancer, autism, and all. It all came from glucose. It all came from mucus. We're not taught this stuff. We were not. If we knew about this stuff, if I knowing what I know now, and I was to go back, I would say, hey, be careful, because the first thing you do when you start your mucus is sugar. And what do we get that from? From infant baby food and all. That's where it starts. That's where it leads to. And I didn't know about this, that for us, it talks about that, oh, that's a fake food, which is like, white rice. We're supposed to be eating wild rice. So a lot of things that I wasn't didn't know, I was like, let me do some research. Then he talks about this is what happens when you have autism. You're supposed to be not eating like man-made food because it's messing up your gut. What do you think in a way why are we so hungry, but our brain, our gut tells us we're full, but our brain tells us that we're still hungry. The reason why? That's the parasites talking. And that's why I never knew that. And when Jose Torres was talking about that, it made sense. But how can we start? And a lot of people, when you are so used to food and processed food, you're going to have a battle. Because now the food that we're eating from the processed food, everyone's dying quicker. We lived to 90. Now we're living to 70, living to 50. Now people are dying, our own people are dying at 40, 45. So it's just the food it's all processed food. It's not healthy for us. And that's why it's like they program us. You got to do this. You got to eat a big breakfast meal. That was all propaganda. That was all from the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, to keep us enslaved. But with Dr. Sebi, man, he was pushing out facts. And I remember I was doing an IG live, and this is where they froze my bank accounts, everything. I was doing an IG live, and I had my JPL speaker on, and some guy on the live said, "Hey, talk about Dr. Sebi." Okay, so I was looking up on Rumble, and we're talking about how to cure. If you have AIDS, how do you cure it? Dr. Sebi's going to tell you. When we started talking about this is what you do to how to cure AIDS, it's all because, clean out the mucus. My iPad, my TV, my iPhone were all messing up. And it was vibrating. And my iPhone, when I grabbed my iPhone, it shocked me. And on the iPad, it was kind of flashing up and down. And it went half of this person. And on the bottom, it had like a black figure. And it shows the keyboards of someone typing, and it said, shut him down. And I shut everything off. 10 minutes later, 2 people come knocking at my door, asking for water. You can't really say anything. Then the next day, I try to get money out, and they froze my accounts. I got emails from Apple, from Spotify, from Rumble. They shut me down. I couldn't get no money out of my bank accounts for a month because of that. And I know why, because it was the Dr. Sebi videos. It was because I was talking about, the ice wall. I was talking about certain things that no one wanted to talk about. But if you post anything on Dr. Sebi, man, they'll shut you down quick.
You know that when the first couple of times you would send me messages, I went to my request folder and it said, "Are you sure you want to accept this message?"
Oh yeah.
This person's known to tell false information. Like, they had to warn me about your page. And of course I put, hell yeah, I want to talk to this fool.
It's a merit badge. Yo, you know what? I lost 4,000 people because of that. I had sponsors. No one wanted to fuck with me. They got scared. Hey, Steven, because this is what happened. If you follow me, so I don't know if I still have it on, but if you follow a person and says, "Are you sure?" and you follow them, that IG police and the boys, they're going to monitor your page now. How do you know Mega Man? What do you affiliate with? Let's stoop around and stuff. So that's why a lot of people didn't want to fuck with my page. But when you saw that, I'd be like, ooh, this guy must be speaking some truth. Because to get one of those, that's hard to get. But when you keep on posting, and you're waking people up, that's where you get shadow banned. That's where it's like, yo, cut him out. Like, shadow ban him, blind his page, whatever you got to do. But don't have this person out there because he's waking up people's eyes and people are listening to him and now they're watching him. We don't want this. Just shut him down.
You haven't got deleted before? Your page deleted?
Was it like 9 times, 10 times?
Goddamn.
Yeah, they know who I am. They don't fuck around. And I get a lot of threats.
Will you ever stop?
No. I feel like I have to do my part. Who else is gonna do that? And I know people are gonna say, "Oh, Mega Man, be careful posting all that stuff." Well, how about you fucking post it? If not, then shut the fuck up, because I'm doing my part. Who else is gonna do that? I'm looking out for you. I'm looking out for my lady. I'm looking out for everyone. Someone has to speak up, you know. I mean, there's 9 billion people, and there's 100 families. We can take over, but people don't want to because they're scared. Of course, if you're going to take back Earth, you're going to push what the agenda of the elites, the governments are doing to us. No one's talking about all this weather right now. It's crazy. All these cloud seeds, these chemicals that we're breathing from from the air, and not knowing like, oh, gee, we have hurricanes, we have rain. What the fuck? What's going to happen? People are scared. Is there a direct energy light beam going to hit us and take our fucking land? People are scared these days.
Damn.
Look what's going on in Chile, Maui. They're all making smart cities. I mean, they're gonna hit up Turkey. They're gonna hit up Greece. They're hitting up the West Coast. Always nonstop rains as a maneuver to focus on hurricanes and rains. And what do you think in the way the insurance companies are going back? You know, they're not gonna fuck with us because it's a land grab. People, you know, Billy Carson talks about it. They're kicking us out.
What do you know about clones?
Oh, I believe it. I believe there is clones. Katy Perry, Miley Cyrus, Jamie Foxx, Kevin Hart. I mean, I really believe Taylor Swift as well. Taylor Swift, like, there was a woman that looked just like her, and I think she was a daughter who was that person who worshiped the devil. He had that black house in San Francisco. I forgot the name, but there is always stories of clones like manifesting. Remember that movie X-Men and the Apocalypse where they had 2 people laying down? That's what they're doing. They're making clones like, hey, I don't want to be in this, but I'm going to use whatever, my soul and everything, and make me a new clone and be a new person. But at the same time, they're sacrificing themselves, or they're speaking on things that they shouldn't be talked about from the Illuminatis.
You met Alex before, right? Alex Enamorado?
Yep, we met him a couple times, yeah.
Okay, tell me what you think is going on with his situation and the Justice 8.
It's a witch hunt. It's a conspiracy. It's pretty sad what's going on with him. That, like, they're getting denied bail, but if for a chomo or a pedophile, they get bailed out. So with this whole situation, Operation Accountability, he was causing a ruckus. He exposed what was going on with the city, with the police, a lot of corruptions, because 95 or 96% of the police are Masons. The Masons work for the Illuminatis, and he just stirred up and opened up a bee's nest in the IE. And with a lot of the corruption that's going on over there, a lot of people were like, whoa, what's going on with our taxpayers' money? What's going on? You said you promised us this, and now you're turning your backs on us and everything. There's a lot of shady stuff going on, and he exposed what was going on, and that's why they want to make him and a lot of other people as an example. But with the new laws that are changed, I feel that Alex was a sacrificial lamb for the next generation of street vendors. Hey, we're not going to be pushed around. We have rights as well. So that's how I see that Alex made a difference for the new generations who are going to be like selling stuff on the street vendors and all that. Like, hey, we have rights as well. But to me, it's really sad what they're doing to him. It's really sad. And I think they denied of, he has, I don't know if the situation, he has cancer. Something happened with that. They're not giving his medication.
He has cancer?
That's why I was seeing it, like a stomach cancer or something. He takes a medicine. You can look it up. And I was like, whoa, you're denying he needs help and you're denying that? It's kind of weird. And Cindy and I, we send letters, you know, but at the same time, what's really sad is like people really need to focus on this case, but a lot of people now are just kind of like walking away like, if he gets 10 or 15 years, okay, whatever. Like they're moving on. The news is not focused on it, and they're being like Homer Simpson going back to the bushes.
You wrote him letters. Has he wrote back?
Huh?
Did he write you back?
Not yet. Yeah, we wrote to him, to his lady, and there's a lot of other people too, but we're just going to keep on pushing the faith. I really believe he's going to pull through. This is some stupid charges, but, at the same time, I shout outs to Rader Tommy. He's still putting hope, like keep prayers and keep the Justice 8, in prayers and stuff like that, because man, they made a difference, but they're putting their neck on the line for us. Do you see anyone out there like being an Alex right now supporting the street vendors? Quiet. All these audit people, they were all in the bandwagon. But now that he's in jail, you don't see none of that. It's quiet now.
The only one that I still like hear is the entrepreneur queen. She kind of like, she's the only one.
Yes.
But that fool Rader Tommy, that fool was talking shit to me one time in the comments.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the homie.
I posted something about, because the homie said, how come I haven't posted about him? I'm like, well, I don't want to hurt his case. I had my reasons why I haven't posted it. And he goes, yeah, these fools only wanted him for the podcast. This fool
freaks out and all that stuff.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you only want, now that he needs your help, you're not. These fools look like they don't donate money. I'm like, how do you know what I donated, dog? Like, who just attacking me? So.
Yeah, everyone's in defense, but you're seeing who are the real ones or not. What can we do? Like, well, you had his back or you didn't have his back. It doesn't make a difference, but keep on posting, keep on bringing hope. But that they were saying that we have another 10 more warrants. After the Justice 8 got arrested, they had another 10 more warrants. That's when people started like, we're out. We don't want none of this. Because, Alex and the people are being very activist, going to people's houses and all. But when they say we have another 10 more people that we have warrants for, people are like, I think they use that just a scare tactic to be like, okay, we're out. Like no one wants to really be there to support Alex because they don't want to be in jail. But like, shit, if I get in jail, I have a job, I have this, I have my own life. I get it, but you guys are going too far. That's the thing where it's like, we're just going to step away. It's like, Alex, this is your thing. You deal with it on your own.
Do you think he went too far?
We had to make a difference. He had to do what he had to do. Who else is going to do that for us? He was a voice. And honestly, I feel with Alex, he should have changed a thing. He did what he had to do. It takes bigger balls for a person to do that, and having close to 90 felonies. But he did that for the next generations of people. Like, hey, we're not going to be no one's doormat. We're not going to have anyone just walk over us and say what you want. But the thing, it got a little tricky. You're supporting the street vendors, but the whole thing with Free Palestine, you get a lot of trouble for that. What's going on with the boys? Yeah, they'll come at you.
You think that's the bigger battle that took him down? It's not really the street vendors, but the fact that he's kind of like a socialist and anti-war in the Middle East.
Yeah, I mean, look what's going on. It's like, like the situation with the boys and
because it's a trip. Now that you bring that up, right before he got locked up, he was going super hard for Free Palestine, and all of a sudden, boom, locked up.
Yep.
Because he had the power. He had the people.
He had the power. Look what happened with Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. Anyone that has a voice and is making a difference, and the people are waking up from their deep sleep, take them out. That's what they did.
It's fucked up.
Yeah, it's a messed up thing. But again, shout outs to Alex and the Justice 8. I know they released Jaguar.
How do you get out?
His students, everyone left notes like he's a good person and all, but the school fired him. He was a teacher, let him go. And I think he did Social Primates show, and I think he did some stuff at East of the River Studio and all, but I see him here and there, but it's just something where they have to be very quiet because it's an ongoing case.
Tell me what Rader Tommy does. I want to know about him.
Rader Tommy's the homie. He supports the community. He's out there. We had him on the show. Super cool dude. I met Rader Tommy for the first time from there was a situation because Alex was going to Long Beach a lot and supporting other street vendors, and they were changing some laws. And we went to help out the street vendors because my lady Cindy, she's a food blogger, and we want to support a lot. So we want to see what's going on with their city. And at the time, there are certain people who were there who knew Alex, and we post some pictures, and Rader Tommy started following me, and he's one of those. He's always being there for the community. You know, I think he works for Bobby D, going to some of the shows and all, but he just likes to support people, but he has his opinion. But, you know, and there was a little situation. I think Rader Tommy got a situation with Flyboy. You know, they were going at it and stuff like that, you know, with the whole thing with Alex, just to say. But Rader Tommy, he's a cool dude. I mean, if people talk about keyboard, you know, warriors and all, and talk shit, but when you meet them face to face, or you have a FaceTime with them, or you leave voicemails, he's a super cool dude. I love that guy. That guy has a heart. Big heart.
Okay, yeah, I still gotta talk to him.
Talk to him.
See what that was all about, because I feel like it was unwarranted. Like, people got mad at me for not making a post about Alex, and they decided to leave a comment on a post I made about Alex. It's like, how come you don't talk about Alex? Like, I'm literally talking about him on this post, and like, I don't know. It was kind of a backwards, like.
I kind of understand, because you're seeing no one talks about Alex that much.
I get it if I never posted about Alex, like, since he got locked up, and then you post on a random clip, like, hey, how come you never talk about him? But he literally commented on a post that I made about Alex. You know, like, it doesn't make sense. Like, oh, this doesn't, you're not supporting Alex. Like you're commenting on the post where I'm supporting Alex.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's entitled to an opinion, but, you know, when I was a guest on the 100 Block podcast on American Cholo, you know, we were talking about, like, the whole situation with the Justice State and all, and we were giving our flowers. And this is the thing, we're not doing it for views, clout, and numbers. We're doing it because we know him. We don't know him personally, but when you see him at events, we see him, he's out there for community, like, hey, what's up, Alex, you know?
Yeah, like, Alex has been in that seat that you're sitting on right now, you know? Like, I've had him here, I've talked to him, I support him. My dad's a street vendor, and every podcast I go, and anytime we talk about him, I always say the same thing. So for someone to say that about me, it kind of pisses me off, because obviously you don't know what you're talking about, dog. Because you're not watching my shit.
What's your take on him?
Well, Alex,
Mm-hmm.
I love what he does. My dad's a street vendor. My dad's been robbed at gunpoint. You know, I've used to work at the swap meet with my dad. I've worked as a street vendor with my dad, left and right. When he goes on vacation, I'm at the shop. Me and my brother, you know.
7 days a week, huh?
My son's there sometimes too. You know, my son loves working with my dad when he goes and shit. So street vendor, that's what I'm all. It's what fed my family through my whole life. You know, so I fuck with all of it.
And that's the thing. And I just hate to see street vendors get beat up or harassed and all, but they're making a living. And also a lot of the street vendors, they can start as a street vendor, and now they have a restaurant, like a brick and mortars and all.
Like Mr. Menudo started in the fucking street, dog, with plastic chairs.
I know, brings this plaque up to #1.
I love how I love how confident he is, you know?
See, okay.
I love that shit.
That right there, a lot of people they get kind of weird. Oh, he's cocky. No, it's confident.
Because people are pussies. They can't see themselves do that. Kobe did it, MJ did it, Shaq did it. All the greatest athletes in the world, all the greatest business people, Donald Trump does that shit. Like, you know, feeling confident in what you could do, it's a good feeling. Sorry if you're insecure. Sorry if you'd fucking never done anything great. Sorry that your mom raised you.
I am a pussy.
You're a pussy. You know what I mean?
I am a cock.
Like, oh, my pussy hurts.
Oh,
stop.
Yo. Some of these guys, hold up. Some of these guys, you act all hard, cholo. Homie, you beta male cucks. Tuck in your dick like fucking Buffalo Bob for Signs of the Lamb.
But yeah, you know, like, I hate people who try to dampen other people's shine. Like, let that fool be confident, and like, he's fucking taking care of. I saw a picture of him the other day when I used to go eat menudo right there with my mom and shit. It was him, his wife, and my homie Lennis, and maybe one worker. So 4 people. The other day he took a picture in front of his staff, and down there's like 15 homies, 15 paisas, like young people, old people in the kitchen. Like, look how many jobs that fool has created. And you don't want to give him his 5 seconds, like, yeah, baby, we're #1. Like, what the fuck? Stop being a bitch. That fool's bad.
It's the keeper words. Like, dude, when you probably get this a lot. If you're posting, why him? You know, or I'll mention this podcast because I'll talk to this guy no more. And I'm telling you, there's crybabies out there. couple years ago, I won a reward. Not to throw anyone's face, because I don't give a fuck about the award anymore. It's just like the hard work. When I got rated number 2 best podcast of all of LA, OC, and, and IE put together, there was this podcaster. I should have saved the fucking DM of the voicemail. Shout out to 80 miles per hour. You're a fucking crybaby bitch. Why did you get it? I worked so hard. I put everything on it. Why did you get it? I'm better than you. Like, crybaby, like, wow. And just, dude, if you want something, I'll be like, yo, you fucking earned it, dog. Like, dude, what you're doing is, hey, I see you. Like, when I send you DMs, I see you. But we don't have that these days. People just want to hate each other, and it's the same thing, man. Tribal divisions, like crabs in a bucket, man.
Yeah. Well, first, I want to say thank you for pulling up to the podcast, my boy.
Yeah.
Dope ass story, great podcaster. Before you go, let the people know what you got coming up next, where they can find you.
Yeah, so you can find me on the LBSE Social Experiment Podcast on IG. I have a special guest. This will probably be aired on Monday, but I have the homie King Guest coming on. The next podcast episode, I have Commitment Soldier and Commitment Queen. Oh boy, it's gonna be a very good episode.
Yeah.
And I got Sonia. I think we had talks with Jesse Borrego from Blood In Blood Out.
And Ellie in a minute.
Yeah, Ellie in a minute.
Ooh, that's gonna be a good
Evan,
one.
yeah, you know what? Before we end this, Evan from Ellie in a Minute, man, that guy, he's always been there. He shows love and support. When my son had a stroke, he was like, on prayers to you and your son. And I told him, it's like, hey, I think it's time. I want to get you on my show. And what Evan from LA a Minute does, he is putting LA on the map, the history, the research. And he is one of those upcoming podcasts. This motherfucker is a workhorse. He's game. He does history. And to me, it's fascinating for him to come on my show, because I have so many questions and so many stuff to talk about with him. I want to pick his brain of how he sees LA, his life, his culture, where he grew up, but also in the podcast game, because man, this podcast can take you on a journey, good or not, but man, I can tell he just loves doing podcasts, but it's the history. It's the history that I love about that guy. And I'm going to be a guest on We Don't Smoke the Same, Part 3. So I got some stories to tell with XG. And go on, crybaby. Like, talk about conspiracies, but Ezon. Oh, Ezon's coming on too. Ezon from We Don't Smoke the Same. But other than that, that's about it, I just want to say thank you for having me on your show, man. I always tell you, man, you're doing good. You have something going, man. Keep on doing what you're doing. You're bringing the right people. And when you had that guest you invited on over here at 44 Vato, that was a very good episode, man. It made me understand him a little bit more.
Yeah.
But you keep on bringing the good people, and you just climb to the top, man. And there's one thing I like about him. He doesn't talk about it. He's bring about it. He's like, numbers don't lie. You bring numbers. Numbers don't lie. Yeah,
man. So again, appreciate you guys for pulling up. Appreciate it. If you guys are still watching, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. And like I always say, pull up, turn up, stay lit. Let's get it.